another team, it was similar to that, and that basically changed the face of the program.
How many things, I know you talked in the book, and some people may not even know in depth how far you went, but you took some of these kids from the cities, you went out there on the water in a boat, and you had to put on the boat Liberty City. You named the boat Liberty City, otherwise, as you said in the book, they would think that it was stolen. How many different things did you have to do similar to that? That's just one boat story.
Yeah, that is one boat story. That's a clean boat story. We ain't gonna talk about Ron May's boat stories. The sacrifice.
I see him sweating after I brought that up.
Yeah, when you start talking about the boat stories. No, basically, the boat was crazy. I talk about Mark Caesar and Warren Sapp. They spent more time on that boat than anybody ever spent on the boat. And one of the main reasons why they spent more time on the boat was because, in my thing, what people don't know about my affiliation with the University of Miami, I saw kids, on TV, just like everybody else in this room, shooting guns on the campus, robbing and stealing from other students, and I just was thinking, because, it took a long time before the University of Miami would recruit kids from the inner city. They had Kerry Baker and E.J. Baker and a couple of those guys, but when they started getting the Melvin Brattons and they started getting the Darren Fullertons, the Jerome Browns of the world, they really invested in bringing those type of kids down there. But when they brought them, it was a culture shock. And I talked about it in the book because, I'm sitting there on TV looking at these guys going through, this culture shock, but then acting like absolute thugs at that school. So I was like, this is an opportunity of a lifetime that they don't understand. And let me go down here and try to help some of these young men. And at the time I had a club called Strawberries. They would frequent the club. Then I was like, okay, you guys come over here. Let me have a conversation with you. And I would ask them, why are you breaking in other kids' rooms, stealing their stereos? And they would tell me, the stories. They would basically say, we're breaking into these rooms because we don't have any money. We got to send money back home to our mom. We made a big sacrifice in leaving home to come play football. And then you had, people like Benny Blaze. They had kids. So I'm sitting there saying, I could just say, give you a nice little speech and send you back home. But at the end of the day, these kids are going through something that nobody can imagine. And I basically say, look, before you go steal anything from anybody's locker room or anybody's room, before you take a gun and shoot it, on the campus, come talk to me. And in the book, I tell a story about Lamar Thomas. Lamar Thomas played football, as you all know, but at one time, his mother was getting kicked out of her house in Gainesville. She was losing her house, and he came to me and said, Luke, my mom is getting kicked out. Showed me pictures of all the clothes and the furniture out on the lawn. And he said, I got to go back home to Gainesville to work. And at that moment I thought, because you came to the University of Miami, you didn't go to Florida, that's why this is happening to you. So that was the first thing I thought about. Then I had my lawyer look into it, and my lawyer said, no, she's actually getting evicted because she can't pay the rent of the house. And I said, son, you have an opportunity in a lifetime. I did not know whether it was a violation or not, but you're gonna stay in school. I don't know whether you're gonna be able to pay me back or not. I'm gonna buy your mother's house. So you can stay in school and whatever you do, get a degree. And if you have to pay me back $5 at a time, you do that. He eventually ended up, going to the NFL, which was 0.1% chance, and he ended up paying the money back. So, I was happy that happened for him.
Was that one of the messages? Because you have a lot of stories and a lot of messages, but it was a pretty popular topic about, did Uncle Luke pay players at the University of Miami? Was that one of the main things that you wanted to get out there, maybe misconceived what people thought about why you were paying these players and how?
Yeah, it was the most important part of one of them. I needed to put that in the book to clear it up because every writer had the idea of what was going on. It was pay for play. It was pay for hits. It was all these different stories that people will write about. And I was like, you know, paid Charles Farms, he paid Bernard Clark. No, they never had any problems. Charles Farms lived in Dallas, and he had a nice house. He lived with a nice family. He didn't have those kind of problems. He didn't have the same problem that Jerome Brown had. He didn't have the same problem that Mark Caesar had. He didn't have the same problems that a lot of those other kids. And that's why it was important to do the book, to clear that up after the statute of limitations. You know? I can't get school in trouble. It was like, no, we couldn't do this back then, but it was important to understand. And I'm pretty sure anybody in this room, if you see a kid and this kid has an opportunity, you know, and okay, he needs a meal, he needs to send some money home to buy his kid diapers, you know, before you go commit a crime, you know, I would assume that most people in this room would be, you're gonna commit a crime and ruin your life for you and your kid, you know, and look, there's some diaper money, but I think I would do it a different way. Nowadays, now that I know it's against the rules.
What would happen right now if in the next coming weeks at Sun Life Stadium, the Canes are out there, they're on the sideline, and you have some players or players that aren't playing in that game wearing scarves?
Oh, no, they couldn't do that. They did that before. I mean, I talked about that in the book. When the guys wore the scarves. You know, that was a Miami thing. You know, they wanted to wear the scarves. Then there was one time when Sam Jacobs said, you can't wear the scarves. And this was a rebellistic team. They were like, no, we wearing our scarves. And then and that, I remember that day clearly, all of them came. I mean, you know, the black players, the white players,